Welcome to the vlog. That's right. Once again, it is me, Eddie Gil, and I brought a special guest today on the third episode that we have today. So thank you so much. This is Omar, aka DJ Exes. He's one of our DJs on our team, and he came here to just talk to us about DJing. Omar, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell all the viewers what you do, what kind of music you play, how you got started. Come on, give me a little bit of history about you.
That's a lot, but just to whittle it down. So I got started in long time ago, man, like 92. I had actually gotten some turntables for Christmas. It was some Gemini turntables.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was, but at least they were direct drive. They weren't belt drive.
Gotcha.
So it was two of them.
We all start somewhere.
Yeah, you got to. So, I had those in a Gemini mixer, and I learned off of those. I got nice with that, and then I started to work. And my mom actually told me if I could come up with half of the money, she'll put up the other half for me to be able to get techniques. And the first time I went, we was in, I lived in Jersey at the time. And so we went to Canal Street, and I wound up getting, the guy talked me into not getting a technique. I got I want to say like a Audio Technica or some kind of, it was just some.
It was an off-brand.
Yeah, it was super off-brand. And I took it home, and as soon as I got home, I was just like, I knew I should have gotten. And so we went back. I made my mom take me back the next day. Whatever, I got the technique. What happened was I didn't know how to, DJ. I was just, out there starting. And so I did parties. I got booed, nasty style, like, new DJ, all in your face, like, new DJ.
And when was this?
This was in New Jersey, in basement parties. Like, it was bad. Like, let me tell you, I can't stress this enough. As a entertainer, whatever it is that you do, whether it be DJing, singer, rap, whatever it is that you do entertainment-wise, you have, until you get booed, there is no growth. You have not grown. But whatever, so that's how I got started. And then I've been DJing forever. This was back in like 92. I'm dating myself. I know some of y'all was probably born around that time. But that's all right, just to show you how long I've been DJing for.
So it's safe to say you're an 80s baby?
Mm-hmm. About right.
And then in your bio, you talk about your Latin roots. You're Puerto Rican?
Yeah, 100%.
And you basically,
Corazón.
and then basically you started infusing your Latin music with your hip hop style and some of the music, and that's kind of what opened your doors to open format, right?
Well, yes and no. It opened, so on an MC type level, yes, because it made me want to do more. Like, I always wrote in Spanish, but I did it like messing around. Like, if it was a song that was out, like a popular song, right, I would sing it in Spanish just to make my friends laugh. And then, like, after a while, I was like, man,
this works.
Yeah, that kind of sounded kind of dope. And so, so I started doing stuff like that. And then, so yeah, I did put out a bunch of mixtapes where what I did is I took, I did what they did with hip hop in the beginning. With the hip hop, they took a lot of the breaks,
right,
and they cut the breaks back and forth.
Exactly.
So I took a lot of the.
They did that with disco first, which made hip hop.
Right.
Now hip hop redid it, chopped it.
Right, exactly.
So we're just getting refined.
And so I just did that, the same thing, but I did it with the salsa songs, and I labeled that salsa breaks. So I took the beginning of the salsa songs, started doing a bunch of things, did a bunch of songs here and there, put some mixtapes out.
So basically added your own flavor, added your own spice,
exactly,
a little bit of your culture, mixed with where you grew up, what you did, right, the music that you like, the style that you like, which kind of brings us to the question of like, what, how do you get beyond if you're at an event and somebody comes to request something to you, and you're like, that song is just not flowing. As a DJ myself, I'm like, man,
that's the
how do you take that request? Or like, what if it's a teen party and they're like just requesting song after song, and you're like, you don't want to get booed again.
Right, no. Not at this age.
We definitely been past that,
a
long time. So, how do you figure out what it is that you really want to like play at that moment?
For me, you're always going to have that one person, man, at an event who's like, would make everybody dance right now. And the face that they put when they tell you too. Like, it's like the secret. They're like, it's like they were having a good time with their boys, and they were like, yo, I got this. You know what set it off right now? It's like, yo, and if they turn around, everybody else is dancing.
Yeah.
But to them, they're like, this one song will set it off.
That's it. That's a song.
I would just do whatever DJ does.
What I always wanted to know was, why wasn't I involved in the census that they took in the beginning?
To let
The
them
vote.
know that that was the song?
So like, like that's the song.
Yeah.
Like you're the one playing the music. You think you'd be involved in that voting that they had in the beginning, that they knew that was the song.
That's that one friend of the party that like, they invite over that that's the one that knows everything. And they never fail.
Better yet, when they had a little too much to drink.
Yeah, that's the worst too. That's another story. Just to answer the one that you're talking about the kids, what I do when I'm gonna do a DJ, like a birthday party where it's like a 16, right? I try to get as much information as I can.
One of my favorite things is your turntable skills.
So
you're cutting and scratching. So how did that begin for you? Like, what was it?
Oh man,
what was it that like made that?
It's funny. That's the very first thing that I learned how to do when I got turntables is transform scratch.
Yeah.
That's the very first thing I learned, and I would learn with the switch. I had the Gemini, so I had the.
I did the same exact thing.
Yeah. So it would be like, so I learned to click, 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 and I got nice with it. Matter of fact, I got so nice with it, I didn't know how to blend. I didn't know how to mix. I only knew how to scratch. And so, that's part of the booing thing. Like I got, and I had to learn. And then one summer, I just really dug in. And once I learned how to blend, it was a wrap. And then after that, like, I was always behind the curve when it came to like, the mixers, because I couldn't afford it. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't afford to get like a dope mixer. So like I had the Gemini, I would spray all kinds of like liquids in there, oils. I didn't even know what the hell I was doing. Just as long as I could use.
WD-40.
No, it was so bad. And so, I learned to cut with the transform switch.
Right.
And then I learned.
That's what we're calling it?
That's what we called it.
That's what you mean line
switch.
in, line out switch?
Yeah, right. Whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
How do you balance what you like versus what you dislike, though?
What do you mean, like music-wise? Like when I'm DJing, like, I mean, as a DJ, you're always gonna have that issue, right? Like, everybody's sick to death of playing Despacito, but you had to play it if it's,
Right.
It all depends on the crowd.
Like, I don't think people realize how many times we hear a song sometimes. Like, you hear it a lot on the radio, right? So on top of hearing it on the radio, when you go into the store, when you go to watch a movie, whatever the case may be, then on top of that, we're hearing it all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's the most requested song. Like you would hear an artist in a club or whatever the case may be, and there was so much demand for that song because they heard it, they jammed, they had a good time, and it was live, that they asked the artist their name, they got their information, and then they would request it on the radio, and that's how it got airplay.
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore. Like now you got to know somebody, be with some group, do select, and that's the only way you're really gonna get in there. And that that kind of takes away from the artist too, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like
everybody's accessible. It's not the same.
There's not the hustle in it anymore.
But again, the exclusivity
like,
either.
Even back then, you used to dig into crates. Like you used to really dig into crates and kind of have like that arsenal of songs that you would play and people would respect it. Now, if they didn't hear it on the radio, it's not hot.
Yeah.
Like, if it's not on the radio or on my Spotify playlist, it's not hot.
Well, so it's crazy because we live in a time where we're from that, right? Where we know if it wasn't on the, but now the era now is more YouTube. Like these kids, everything is YouTube.
Yeah.
Everything.
Which drives me nuts too, because like you have certain tracks that are on YouTube that you just can't get access to, right?
Yeah.
They don't have an iTunes account. They don't have a way to, sell their music or whatever the case may be. And the only way you could really get it is to rip it off of YouTube, but we can't do that.
Right.
Technically it's illegal for us to do that. I know DJs that do.
Yeah.
I know things that sometimes you have to play, but
I like how you covered that though. This is like a public forum. I don't do that because that's illegal. Just to be clear.
But basically the thing that I'm getting to is it's hard for us to get those tracks, whereas before you used to be able to go into a record store and it might have been there, or you could actually reach out to the artist and get like a tape, or get a CD, whatever the case may be. You were able to, you had the means, and now that we have all this technology, you still don't got the means. So, so one of the things that I find that a lot of people say is, oh, anybody can be a DJ. Laptops, you have the sync button, you have this, you have that. But in reality, it's the key. Like when we were talking about when you got booed, or when you learned how to blend, when you actually learned how to put some work and time into perfecting your craft, right? What is it that helps you read a crowd? Like that, you can buy all the equipment you want,
right,
but you can't read a crowd. Like you could buy all the equipment for a doctor, but if you don't know what the organ does, then you can't fix it.
Yeah, and then you're gonna go to jail.
Right.
Right. If they catch you putting cement in
Again,
butts.
look, we'll switch it up. You could be a mechanic, right?
Right, yeah.
You could say you're a mechanic. You could buy a tool chest,
Yeah,
but it
yeah,
doesn't make you a mechanic.
Yeah, no, you're right. And obviously us being DJs, we feel a particular way about this. Like, anybody.
I used to, but not anymore. You want me to tell you why?
Why?
Because I realized that I started somewhere, and I realized that everybody's got to start somewhere.
But you were humble. Humility is a big thing, though. It's different. It's a difference between somebody buying equipment, right, and trying to do what we do,
right,
but recognizing that they can't and being humble enough to want to learn. You know what I'm saying? Put on this.
Exactly. They didn't
like
have to
models.
go through what we went through.
No, they don't.
Because basically, we didn't have the accessibility like they do now.
Yeah.
Right? You couldn't buy yourself a pair of turntables and call yourself a DJ. You really had to put in work. Like you had to do family events, do something in order to get your leg in the door.
Yeah.
You couldn't just grab turntables and say, I'm gonna go promote
And
at
show
this
up.
club.
Yeah.
Like you had to have somebody back you up. So the client will, value the number versus valuing the DJ for the job.
Right.
The DJ who's gonna MC, the DJ who's gonna play the right music,
Yeah.
the DJ who's gonna mix. If you're looking for an iPod, we'll rent you an equipment for an iPod.
Right.
I'll even have the mixer, the microphone, everything. You run your show. But I've had people come to me and say, hey, look, I have a full playlist. Can you just play this for my party? I literally turn it down because that's not who we are.
You ever had anybody catch you with that off guard, though? Like you're there and then they tell you that that's what they only want that?
I have.
So what do you do in that situation where you're cornered? Now you're there. You're like, you say, oh no.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I mean, when I get that situation, basically, you have to do it, man. You really have to. You have to do what you were, paid to do.
You get paid to be an iPod.
And you have to go for it. I haven't gotten that a lot,
Me neither.
Once people kind of found out what I do and the word of mouth and the reviews, the Googles, whatever the case may be, it really amplified a lot of things for me. And make sure that when you guys are there, you follow those guidelines. You make sure that you're doing those things, and we're constantly educating, we're constantly growing and learning. This is why I did these vlogs.
Yeah.
I want people to learn about the gear. I want people to learn about our craft, and basically it's everything, man. We have lighting, we have DJs, we have DJs with facades, we have DJs with photo booths now.
Yeah.
DJs are kind of like doing a little bit of everything now.
Yeah.
Why? Because the market's so low that they have to find other things to supplement their income.
Yeah. So every once in a while you get a request that fits the mix.
Right.
And you love those people.
Yeah.
When they give you an idea and you're like, oh my God, that's a great idea.
Right.
I mean, we'll never tell you that. We're just like, yeah, I got you. But in our mind, we're like, damn, that was a good idea. And so, I went to go put the song
Great
on.
song.
Right? And so I'm like, why did I think of that? So I go to put the song on. Yo, this lady comes up. She goes, no, excuse me, no. I was like, what? I was like, what? She was like, no. Only the songs off the list. I was like, for real? I was like, you want me to only play the songs on the list you gave me? And she said, yeah. I said, all right. Okay. Play the songs all night. Right. And you got to be honest with yourself as a DJ. Like if that's not your not your thing, say so.
I mean, is it gonna be fun for you to go to work and like really be miserable? No, you wanna be able to enjoy yourself at least somewhat. Some people really hate their jobs, but I didn't sign up to do this to hate my job. I signed up to do this because I actually like it.
Yeah, I do my regular job because I hate my job. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't do that because I love it. I mean, it's interesting, it's cool, but it's not what I don't wake up in the morning like,
we're gonna fix some computers today.
And wait to run this network cable.
For us, this is what we love to do.
Yeah.
So this is basically where I really take my craft and kind of elevate it to the next level every single time I can. One of the last questions I have for you is, what is like the determining factor in buying music?
What do you mean?
Or like buying your gear?
You have to be, I don't want to say cutting edge, but you don't want to get left behind either, right? So it's like, some people expect a certain look sometimes. They want certain things.
Okay.
Like, it took me a while to jump to Serato back in the day because I was like, vinyl forever, man! And then I was like, wait, but that is vinyl. And this guy's getting all these gigs and he only has to bring his book bag. Like,
I used to get a lot of this too, like, oh, you're a laptop DJ.
But it's so different now, right? Like if somebody says laptop DJ, you think,
you know, I have to like pause for a second and just be like, no, actually, you know what? Come back here and take a look.
Check this out.
You know. At the same time, you can quick mix now.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait, put the record on, find it, find your timing.
Right. You're already
align
here.
It,
Yeah.
You know, get your tempo. You know, find your tempo. Boom, you found your tempo. Now spin it back, get it back to the downbeat where you want it to start. Wait for that bridge to come in, and boom, let it in, and now you're mixing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell I have some age there?
Yeah. That was
So what I'm getting to here is, what equipment do you see yourself with, and when is it time to upgrade? Like, how do you know? Like, yesterday, you know, DJ, what is it? DDJ 1000 SX came out, right? So they had the record box model, and then they came out with the Serato model.
Right.
How do you know? Like, okay, now I want to, you know, I'm rocking a fresh pair of DDJ SZ, right? I got the latest and greatest DDJ SZ. It's awesome, but they just dropped this. It's the best thing since sliced bread, but really it has only a few effects more that you need, or you want, or you like, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna sell this, and I'm gonna get the next piece of equipment and invest another $500. Like, where does it that you find the balance?
I think that you have to take a lot of things into consideration, and one of the things that you got to consider is the long game, you know. And so a lot of times when I buy a piece of equipment, me personally, I look at things like that, like, okay, how long is this going to be around for? Is this going to get old?
Why?
Because you don't want to be outdated either. I'll give you an example. Like, look at the mixers. Like, before I had the Pioneer, the S9, I didn't have the Serato one.
Right.
And the Serato one is, you know, what I wanted. Was it the T157 or whatever it was?
TTM 57.
TTM, whatever it's called. Yeah, and I was like, oh, damn, that's dope. That's the one everybody got.
Right.
You know, I didn't have no $1,500 to
But
drop
see,
on
the
that.
TTM 57 is a great mixer. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
To this day, there's nothing wrong with it, right?
You like it better than the Pioneer, the S9 though?
No.
Well, my whole thing was this. I was doing my thing. I knew it was time for me to transition. Like, I was like, all right, like, if I'm serious, I gotta, you know, jump on something already. When they drop the and that's another thing too, like me with anything that I get, I'm not just DJ equipment, I do massive research, like, because I want to make sure.
I remember the phone calls.
Yeah, you already know. So anytime I want to get something, I want to make sure that what I'm getting, for one, is going to be, because everything's an investment. And so I want to make sure that the investment I'm making is a sound one, not something that they're going to come out with something new later on.
Right, because I have, you know, 12 sets of turntables in the back, right? And most guys will be like, 12 sets of Technique 200. Yeah, I'm an avid collector. You know, I like this. Looking at the Rain 12s, and I'm like, that's the future. When I got on it, the drive was smooth.
Yeah.
You know, it felt
the motor.
great. Like,
the
I've gotten on Pioneer turntables. They're good. They're powerful, but it didn't have that thing that Technique has, right? Every DJ gets on it and like, oh, it's not a Technique though, right? And you know what I'm talking about because we're Technique DJs.
Yeah.
And my thing is that when I got on it, I was like, this is better than a Technique.
Damn.
So for me, I was like,
I haven't played with one yet. You got one in the back? I had to hook these up, finish this vlog out with some scratches or something. I'm like, you got one of those?
My thing more is educating DJs and customers as to why we're choosing these equipment.
Right.
Why pick a DJ? Why do this? Why that? That's the reason for the vlog. That's the reason why you're here. This is why Sandy comes out here super late, you know.
Hey, Sandy.
And recording these things and, you know, and really helping us grow the market so that people can see and appreciate what we do and what we go through. Because the S9 is great. Why is it better than the 57? Well, that crossfader is super smooth. It's got
that
the trigger.
Magvel, yeah.
It's got the trigger pads on the top so that when you're switching, it's got that flip switch. So when you're mixing quick and you flip it, you can echo out and bring in your next fade. You know, or you can put a phaser on it, or whatever the case may be, and it can lock in.
So many
Or
goodies.
you can bring it down. I mean, there's a million.
And when you turn it on, like when you turn it on, those lights, they wave at you. They're like,
you know, not everybody notices that. You know, not everybody realizes that it does like its whole.
I love that. Yeah, I love that.
I gotta say, thank you so much for coming out, man. I appreciate you. Nothing
Thanks for
but
having me,
love.
my brother.
Now, before you leave, though, we turned on the Yorkvilles as you came in.
Yeah, there you did.
And you sat down.
Yeah.
And I popped it on.
Yeah.
And we're gonna play that reaction of your face.
Okay.
On the video.
Let me explain it before they play it.
Tell me what it was like.
So first off, I was scared because you can see the size of these speakers, right? And you know, Eddie's kind of a jerk. So I thought he was gonna try to blow my ears off, right? So I sat down, especially because he was like, "Yo, you gotta sit down and watch this." So I sat here and I was like this, because I was scared. These speakers are big, like seriously. Look at this. And I was fine. I wasn't like deaf, but the bass, you could feel it in your chest. Like I could feel my insides moving to it. And then when he turned it up even louder, the stuff started falling out the roof. I had to like cover my drink. I was like, yo, definitely.
How did it sound?
Sounded amazing.
It was clear?
Super clear. And there's not a mixer here. There's nothing.
We
just
literally plugged it in from the
It was
tablet.
expected only because you showed it to me here. And it almost made me cry. You remember that? I was like, you played a song and I was like, the bass was so crazy. I was like, it was crazy. No, because it was beautiful, you know? I don't know if you guys are into equipment that much like how we are, but like when you see a piece of equipment,
it's like when you go to buy your movie theater set and you sit down in the chair and the guy cranks up the thing and you hear it all around you.
Yeah.
And it just sounds so pretty that it kind of like waters your eyes.
Yeah.
Like that.
Like I kind of felt the same way when I opened up the S9. I felt the same way. I was like,
you got watery eyes. I made it. Yeah. It was funny. D came over. He came over to my warehouse and he goes, he looks around. He's like, man, Eddie, man, I'm so proud of you, man. You've grown so much. And he goes, you know how I know you made it? And I looked at him. I'm like, I made it. And I was like, yeah, you know how I know you made it? And he's like, I'm like, why? And he goes, because you got a forklift.
Yeah, that's true. And you know how to drive it too. I saw you whipping it before. I'm like, damn.
And thank you so much, man, for coming out.
Thank you for having me, my brother.
You.
No, I appreciate
it's
you.
It's amazing
Thank you so much,
that we're
man.
able to do this and
No
showcase the world. You guys will only see a short clip here on Instagram, but please log on to our YouTube channel. It is Sound Level Events. We're gonna put it on the bottom. Sandy's gonna put it right here, right down here, and she's gonna show you exactly where to go. And basically, if you guys want to hear anything, see anything, or talk about anything on our vlog, please hit us up. Let us know. DM us. Put it on the comments. Whatever the case may be. And of course, if you are watching us from YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And of course, the little bell on the side that warns you when we have a new show. So keep it locked here. Sound Level Events. SoundLevelEvents.com.
Pow!
And if you don't know, check out my man O on our website, SoundLevelEvents.com. Right on there, you can hire DJ Exes for your next event and get a professional like you deserve. Until the next time, thank you, and we'll see you again.
Peace.